doesn't even know. Wash. Garage. Hi, good morning. Welcome to today's video. I am going to vlog today. It is Monday and I already feel like I kind of started the day off on the wrong foot. I had an awful migraine last night and I don't know if anyone else does this, but when I'm sleeping, all I want to do is sleep. And so my migraine came on last night. It started right before I went to bed, but I was just so tired. I was like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to take anything. So I just went to bed. While I was sleeping, it obviously got worse and worse. But the thing is about migraines, I don't know if anyone else's migraines are like this, but if I am completely still and like don't move, I don't really acknowledge that it's there, especially if it's in a dark room, sound machines on, like sleeping. So basically when I am sleeping, for the most part, I am able to, I don't want to say sleep through it because while I'm sleeping, I'm like well aware of the pain that I'm in, but it's not as excruciating as it would be if I were up and awake and whatever. So anyway, this happens to me pretty frequently where I'll get a migraine in the middle of the night, but in my dream, I get up to go take medicine. And so in my mind, while I'm like in agonizing pain and I'm just like uncomfortable, I'm like, it's okay because the medicine is about to kick in, like it's gonna be fine. I'll start to feel better in just a second. But the thing is, I didn't actually take any medicine at all and I'm not gonna feel better. And so that's what happened this morning. So I woke up before my alarm. I woke up at like 6 something and I went to go get up to go to the bathroom and I almost fell to my face and I almost threw up everywhere because it just like hit me so hard. All that to say, today has felt a little bit off because my sleep last night wasn't as good as it could have been, and then I've been kind of playing catch up because I slept in until 7 and that's way too late for me to be sleeping in because then I feel like the rest of the day I'm just playing catch up with my kids. And so I feel like this morning, our mornings are pretty packed and just very structured and we have a really good rhythm that we follow, but because I slept in until 7, it really has not felt like that. It's 12:30 and I feel like I'm just now getting to breathe for a second. So I was just trying to get the kids fed, and now that it's cold outside, one of the things that we try really hard to do is go outside for an hour a day. The kids normally are outside for at least 3 hours a day, especially in the fall, but I try to make an effort to go outside for that long as well because normally they just play in our back porch area, which is enclosed, and so I can watch them from doing the dishes and whatnot. So anyway, trying to make an effort for all of us. So before we homeschool, we will go on a walk together. And then because everything was kind of delayed, our baby was down for her nap later than she normally would be. Like everything has just kind of felt off today. And not only that, but then yesterday was October 15th, which is baby loss and baby loss awareness day. And so I've kind of just already been in my feels just thinking about Jaira, and my due date would have been like 2 weeks from now or sooner, who knows. But yeah, just yesterday Jordan was like, you would have been giving birth like any moment now. And I think that's just so crazy what we thought our year would look like versus what it actually has looked like, but in the best way possible, but also in the worst way possible. Like, I don't know, the Lord, it just goes to show how little control we have of things and how much we think we have control over. And then when the control that we think we have doesn't go as planned, we're like, oh no. And like the Lord's like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to be that way anyway. Like it's just been such a learning year for us. So all that to say, I'm ready to catch up for the day. So baby's napping, kids already ate their lunch. They're actually doing book time right now, but it doesn't really sound like they're doing book time. Sounds like they're playing with magnet tiles, but fine. They've already been outside for 3 hours today. We already finished up homeschool. I need to update you guys on all things homeschool. I've just been trying to figure out the best way to do that with respecting their privacy and not oversharing because I just don't want to share anything in regards to the kids. And so I feel like sharing about their homeschool. Anyway, I'm just thinking about the best way to do that. I just finished placing an Instacart order, which I had been meaning to do since yesterday, but Jordan and I were both so tired that we didn't even get a chance to clean out the fridge, which then meant I didn't want to place an order yet because I didn't want to have, you know, the system I follow. I feel like I like to stick to my routine and my schedule, and if I fall out of that routine and schedule, things like feel off. But the morning is done. Like, I feel like once we get done with breakfast and lunch and homeschool and like their outside time in the morning and baby wakes up from her nap, that's when I feel like I can finally breathe, because those things all happen together and so quickly that I don't know, I feel like now that I'm getting myself dressed, now that they're like situated. But I placed our Instacart order. I'll share with you guys the meals we're having this week in just a second. Jordan and I are actually, so we're gonna try to not eat out for the rest of the month into the first half of the month of November, just because we found ourselves getting so used to going out once a week. Like, it's fine for date night, but like normally on Saturdays, or I don't know, we both agreed that we just don't want to spend money on food eating out. It just gets so expensive no matter how cheap of a place you go, especially with a family of 5, and like our baby eats so much and Jordan eats so much, I eat so, like it ends up being really expensive. So we are trying not to eat out. So I have adjusted our plans and meal plans for this week. I normally will cook 3 times a week, but I'm going to cook 4 times this week and make a really big meal to last over the weekend as well. So I will keep you guys updated on how that is gonna go. The kids and I are actually gonna go on a little play date, so we are gonna have to leave in a second. I already got baby her lunch ready so she can eat that. I'm about to wake her up. Kids are still playing. I'll put aside all their shoes and stuff. I've already changed their outfits 3 times today. Our kids just like, they go outside, they play with dirt, they play with mud, so like they're constantly getting dirty, and so I'm constantly having to change them. But because it's still not that cold out, it's cold but not that cold, they don't want to wear their like, they have these suits where it's like fleeced and like weatherproof, waterproof, all kind of, and it's really easy to wipe off. But because it's still not that cold yet, they're just wearing like normal fleeces and like just normal stuff out if they're going outside for like an hour. If they stay longer than that, they put the other stuff on. But anyway, it's been harder to clean their outfits because they want to wear fleeces and sweatshirts and stuff, which are really hard to clean if they get mud on them. And so I kind of just have to throw the whole thing in the wash. And because Kitty stays in the laundry room, he naps in there, and he does not like when I turn the laundry on and put it to go. So I have to like time the times that I'm doing laundry with Kitty and his naps, because he gets really distressed if it's on and he's in there, obviously. So I try to respect that, but then it's like, it's really thrown a loop in my whole laundry system that I have, because I feel like everything is getting thrown off of my systems here this week. Cheers to some Jesus time. I'm gonna bring my Bible with me. I do not leave the house without my Bible, especially if I'm going somewhere with the kids, because they'll just go and play. And so instead of me scrolling on my phone, I'd much rather read a Bible or a book. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna get a book. I started a book that I want to finish. Take the shoes on.
Against his anointed one.
All right. We are back home. I just made myself a little shot of espresso. My migraine is slowly starting to come back, and caffeine always helps with that slightly. So when I do my espressos, I always just squeeze some honey in there. But I was also a little bit foolish today because I wore my hair up, and days that I wear my hair up are almost like guaranteed days for me to get a headache. So I don't know what I was thinking this morning, but kind of just like on the topic of miscarriages and losses and all of that stuff, I feel like since I have experienced it, I get so many questions about it, and I feel like I've just been so public about it, or just kind of have shared the process of all of it, that I'm frequently getting questions from you guys, whether you just went through one or whether you have a friend who is going through one. And so I shared a while back some of my advice for that, but for someone who doesn't have someone to talk to, or for someone who doesn't have anyone who's gone through it, I definitely recommend therapy, and specifically BetterHelp, who is sponsoring today's video. Last time I talked to you guys about them, a lot of you got really excited, and my code gets you 10% off. But BetterHelp is a way that you are able to talk to a licensed therapist without having to leave your house. If you're going through something and you have kids, or if you just have, it's like a lot to manage to get childcare and make appointments and drive out to them and and have to wait in waiting rooms. Like, this was the most convenient thing. Jordan and I did it when we were 2 years into our marriage, and I remember we were like in the thick of parenting. We had very young littles, and we would do it at literally 8 p.m. at night, because that's the time that worked for us. But our therapist was amazing and was always willing to do that because that's just what worked. And so for us, it was so convenient. You can change your therapist at any time. It is just such a great resource, and the Lord can work through people. I think it's amazing the resources that we have just at our fingertips, and the way that BetterHelp makes it so convenient and easy for anyone. And I love how normalized this has become. I feel like our generation has been the generation to normalize getting like help with stuff like this, or just talking to people and just seeing what is available for that. And so that is definitely one of the things that I definitely recommend. I have a lot of friends who've actually done therapy, grief therapy, after having a miscarriage, and like you could have had a miscarriage years ago. And so don't feel like you have to suppress those feelings or feel like you have to suppress that, or like it's been X amount of time, like I should be over this. Like time doesn't heal wounds. And so I will leave that link down below, and thank you to them for sponsoring this video. I think it's so cool that we have something available like this for moms and anyone who might need it. Ooh, why is that so bitter? Ugh, okay. I'm trying to think about the wisest thing I should do right now. The best use of my time would be first to sit with a heating pad on my neck, because that really helps me when I'm in pain, and because the kids are preoccupied right now. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I have a crock pot going right here. I got the crock pot going with just chicken earlier today. I actually diced chicken for dinner tonight. We are having sweet and sour mango chicken tacos. I'm remaking a really old Home Chef recipe, but this one is so good. So I diced up that. I'm just like loosely following this. I didn't want to have to make chicken. I don't like making chicken, especially if it's not going to be grilled or like anything special. So just throwing it in the crock pot to me is like the easiest way. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute onions, mayo, and I'm going to saute those. I'm going to saute some of the chicken, red bell peppers, green onions, and mango in a hot pan. And then I'm going to add sweet and sour sauce. I'm going to make a coleslaw because this has coleslaw on top of it. But before I do all of that, I'm going to make homemade tortillas. I've been trying to make all of our bread. Any bread that we need, I've been trying to make it from scratch. And let me just say, it is so yummy, and making bread is so easy. I feel like because I got into sourdough before I got into any other type of bread making, anything is easy, because sourdough is so complex and takes several hours and days and is a little bit more finicky and techniquey than any other type of bread. So like I've made biscuits, I've made hamburger buns, I've done tortillas, and the tortillas are definitely the easiest one, I'd say. They're really quick. So like it's so great, and there's not all these added preservatives and added things. Like sure, it's still flour, but it's like literally 4 ingredients, and I can make it right here at home, and I know exactly what's going into it. And it really doesn't take me that much longer, maybe like 30 minutes longer, but it's really fun because my kids really enjoy making bread as well. And so this is like that little activity that they have the option to either help in the kitchen or they can go read a book during this time. And so 9 out of 10 times they would prefer to come help me. And so it's nice because I got little fingers helping, and I really enjoy that bonding time together. So I'm going to sit down, put the heating pads, then unload, put those groceries away. I already put all the perishables away, so it's not like I have steak just sitting out, and if I did, my dogs would have eaten it while I was gone. So grab your apron.
Can you put it on me?
Yeah, grab it. It's in the playroom.
Flour?
1.5 cups.
Flour?
Will you hold this? Now I'm gonna pour.
Yeah, that's good more.
1.
Maybe after we pick them up.
Sit up.
Gotta get the empty flour.
That's enough too.
A little bit of bacon.
I got started on dinner, had one helper who's now been dismissed, smelling really good. I'm eating a banana because potassium is supposed to be really good for migraines. We'll see. I don't want to have to take another medicine, so seeing what I can do to fight this off. But I realized I never got a chance to share with you guys the meals we're going to be making this week, so I need to finish writing it down. But we're doing chicken tacos, which is what I'm currently making, which smells amazing. And actually doing the chicken in the cast iron first made this go so much faster, because it's already like starting to piece apart and like look exactly like how you'd want it to for tacos. Then tomorrow I'm gonna make meatloaf with green beans and biscuits. I love me a good meatloaf. I found this recipe. I've made it a couple times now, and it just hits so good. Sometimes I'll do it with pork and ground beef. Sometimes I'll do it with ground turkey. I mix it up. I'm also going to do a chicken barley soup. I really wanted to use a crock pot again, but this time for something more soup soupy and just like yummy. We made chili last week. I had done another soup last week, so I wanted to try something different. So I'm trying this new recipe of chicken barley soup, and it's supposed to be more hearty. I'm also going to make a pot roast with potatoes and carrots, which is like a staple at our house. I feel like I make it pretty frequently. I've shared it with you guys so many times, but it's just so good. So I'm making that to have over the weekend, so I'm not having to cook on my Sabbath, and we can just enjoy and spend time as a family. I need to now make the coleslaw, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to make the tortillas, I'm also going to do now. And then I gotta clean up. I like to clean up as I go. And this guy, if you bake frequently, you definitely need to get this vacuum mop thing, because my floors were always just covered in flour, specifically where the kids help me because they tend to drop it more. And my Dyson never really picked it up. So it was always like a process of trying to vacuum it and then me having to get on my hands and knees and just like wiping it down. But since getting this thing, I never have flour residual just like sitting on my floor like I did before. So I'm gonna do that real quick while that finishes. Okay, kids are hangry. I'm hungry. I'm gonna close out today's video. We're almost done. I will write up pretty much exactly what I did for this recipe down below. As you know, I was just kind of doing the Home Chef one, so I got one more left. Love you guys. I will leave my BetterHelp link down below if you guys want to try it out. Love you. See you in my next video. Be blessed.